Celebrities who refuse to leave money to their children. Very long title, but a title that caught my eye by Brad Cooper. This is our traditional, once every 2 weeks, we do a stream on her. Now, the topic of our current video, of our current stream, was Gen Z and was particularly the topic of future, how we're going to survive through it, what's going to happen. This video will work well in the context that I will be talking about because it also points out an important theme, particularly that we have about raising children. Should we make them struggle and suffer from the very beginning and make them, achieve it in their life with their own actions? Or should we give them a privileged good life by, fulfilling the needs that, for example, we didn't have a chance to get fulfilled when we were younger? In any case, let's start the reaction.
Welcome back to the comment section, Los Angeles edition. I'm Fred Cooper.
Hi.
So there is a lot of hypocrisy, obviously, when it comes to social justice warriors and their social issues. The direction of their outrage changes daily. They seem to forget about issues that they cared about so deeply and were protesting in the streets about just a year later. And just in general, we talk about it all the time, they aren't consistent. And a perfect example of this is the group of wealthy celebrities who talk on and on about social welfare and charity and hating capitalism, the patriarchy, and, redistribution of the wealth.
Must crush capitalism.
You know which meme I have in my mind. I think I already played it. The Patrick Star communist meme. It's hilarious.
And then they tell the world that they are not going to leave any of their money to their kids because they need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and make their own money.
So sinister.
Something obviously does not add up, and Jeff Goldblum is the latest celebrity to do this.
I remember Shaq said this, especially about his sons. He's like, when you're 18, or Steve Harvey, who was like, I'm gonna spend all my money on me and your mother traveling. But let's see what this guy has. I think I remember him from a couple of movies. I just always keep forgetting his name. What was it?
So sinister.
Something obviously does not add up, and Jeff Goldblum is the latest celebrity to do this. Before we dive in, though, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss a comment section episode. All right, so in a recent interview for iHeartRadio, Jeff Goldblum said that he does not want to financially support his kids and that they would need to row their own boat. He immediately went viral. New York Post posted about it on X, quickly.
What does he mean he doesn't want to support? Like, what does he's going to, like, not give them a house? He's not going to, I don't know, pay for their food while they're still kids or pay for their college. Like, what does he mean I'm not going to support them? When they turn 18, it's like over. You're on your own, champ. Like, this is just like a huge, I feel like it's just a huge slogan for an epic title. Like, Jeff Goldblum says he will not give a single penny to his kids. Let's always listen to the details.
Garnered over 6 million impressions, and their tweet read, Jeff Goldblum refuses to leave money to his kids, Charlie, who is 8, and River, who is 6. Row your own boat. Now, to be fair...
What does he mean? Like, so he means after he dies, they won't get the money. Okay, so but if you're alive, you're still going to finance some of their adventures or experience, or not. So it's like, the moment you die, it's over. Like, no matter what age, it's like over.
As many people pointed out, in this article and in the interview with iHeartRadio, Jeff did not get into specifics about whether he would leave any money to his kids or whether he just didn't want to support them as adults. Like, that was not gotten into at all. But
what did I just tell you? What did I just tell you guys? It's an epic headline for an article. That's all it is. Like, without any details, this phrase makes no sense. Internet.
This sentiment that even though I'm wealthy, I don't want to support you is shared by many of his colleagues, some of whom have gone so far as to say that they will give all of their money to charity or just spend all of their money before leaving any of it to their kids. Some examples of that are Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher. Bill Gates, Gordon Ramsay, I believe, also said that it's just become a big trend. And people online, especially those who are very family-oriented, have a major problem with this. Somebody commented and said, the boomer generation as a whole, but particularly celebrity boomers, regard wealth as something to be earned and then enjoyed and consumed. It isn't capital, it's toys. And their kids already have plenty of toys. Much more meaningful to give the leftovers to UNICEF when they die.
Wait, is this comment like supporting them or criticizing? I don't really get it. It isn't capital, it's toys. Guard wealth as something to be earned and then enjoyed, consumed. Okay, let's listen to them.
And that's literally what they do. Somebody else commented and said, why bother having children if you don't want to make sure that they have a secure financial future? I was
Like, again, the problem is that a lot of the times people in society, they go too radical. Like, it's we've been talking about in the previous reaction where children are growing up too slow. It's like it's okay that you're still using the privileges that the previous generation didn't have. Just don't turn into an idiot. And a similar thing here. Like, imagine you're Gordon Ramsay or like whichever celebrity it is with like lots of money, and then your child comes, and thanks to this money they can multiply it by hundreds, by millions of times. Like, wouldn't that be much better? Like, yes, you give your child an advantage in life, but with that advantage he can go further than someone who started from nothing. And yes, I get that it's often hard. Some kids can get raised spoiled, blah blah blah. If you think it through, I know it's hard, but that's what makes you a good parent, you know? It's to show the child that, look, you get to do this, and because you get to do this, now you can do the work that will eventually lead you not at like a high level, but to a very high level. That's a W parent. Not, no, my money, I'm not going to give it. My child needs to learn how hard it is in life. Fuck off.
talking to Alex about this and I was reading him this story, and it just like stopped him in his tracks. He said, I've never considered not leaving anything for my children. He said, like, the reason why I work hard, the reason why I want to have a good career is because I want to make their life better than mine ever was. He already had a good life. Like, it's just like that is the way that so many people are oriented. A lot of people of the boomer generation, a lot of these self-hating liberals disagree. Another person tweeted and said, there are many ways to both.
The liberals would be hating on this because I get the right people. The like, okay, you know, we want to be tough people, so we need to struggle. But those who have like free life, should that be like their motto? That okay, we're all together, we're all sharing. So even with the children, and the children are gonna have great times as well. Everyone has great times. So there are many ways to both teach the children valuable lessons and also provide financial security. They are not mutually exclusive. Yes, exactly what I just said.
Teach the children valuable lessons and also provide financial security. They are not mutually exclusive. No, in 2024, it has to be black and white. There's no nuance at all. Somebody else said, if I was a very wealthy older man, I would try to set up my descendants for success and stability in a very shaky world market environment. It is very odd that the boomers have almost a disdain, in a sense, for their own descendants. I really don't understand it. And not to completely get off track, but this all reminds me of the articles that came out last year where it was a bunch of millennials complaining about how their boomer parents were too busy going on cruises and playing golf to really participate in their lives or help with the kids financially or in terms of babysitting.
This is the moment that I thank my parents for raising me the way they did. Like, genuinely, I would think that is the basic standard, and you only learn how really great and exceptional they were once you look around like at other people's lives. Yeah, like shout out to my parents, amazing people, love them all.
In time, like the boomer parents are off doing their retirement stuff. I mean, these grandparents are vibing. They are napping every single day away from their children.
Don't mistake grandparents and parents. Grandparents have done their job. You know, they are there to when they come to the kid, they are there to play with the kid, have a good time, leave it to the parents. They struggled their own. They struggled in life. Now they get the payout. It's not the same as like simply throwing away your child and leaving them like to grow up. No. That's the child of another adult. Yes, he might be related, but that's another adult. Like, you can't compare them the same.
retiree on their golf course. And granted, I do think a lot of those millennials probably pushed away their parents and just rejected all of their values. So maybe their parents are just like, good riddance, we're gonna go cruise and be away from you.
Take care now. Bye-bye then.
But in general, in a big way, we have lost sight of the value of family support later in life and building a legacy for your children, whether that is financially or in some other way. Like, we are all so
The number of times I've seen people just not caring about their legacy. Like, people don't have this, how do I say this, pride that they are carrying a specific last name, or they are related, or they are relatives of specific ancestors. I don't know, that just like, that got me super weird every single time I saw, like, yo, you're like that family representative of that family. That's like awesome. You know, at least somewhere we still have this in culture. I mean, in national culture, like, you know, someone comes and says, I'm from Brazil or I'm US, like, they still have this some sort of pride, but that might vanish as well in the next couple years. Okay, maybe not couple, but in the next generation. Holy damn, that is not funny at all. I didn't think it through. That's actually sad.
alienated from our families. Like, even physically, like, families don't even live in the same part of the country anymore. And in the grand scheme of history, that is such a recent development. But anyway, back to Jeff. In the Hollywood
Globalization.
and social justice
But again, in especially even now, the problem is never about even the fact that you're living in different parts of the world. The thing is how you still connect with each other, because the 1990s are not the same as 2020s. We now have a chance to, I don't know, call out my parents every day. I have a chance to speak and get and know what's happening in their lives based on their social media. Yeah, I can still do it. It's something that in the 1990s you couldn't have. That's why you lived in the same part of the country, so that you could know what's going in their lives. Like, don't just throw everything into that one pile, because then you won't be able to figure out what is the actual problem.
sphere, I think that this decision is funny because they really can't win here in terms of consistency. First of all, the world has increasingly turned against Nepo babies. Article after article came out last year exposing all the Nepo babies.
What's a nepo baby? Okay, I don't know what infantinity was in the last stream. I knew it, but what does nepo baby? What is this? Is a term to parents? Oh, I see. Okay, I'm gonna share it with you. So basically, nepo babies. Yeah. So, for example, if a successful actor like Downey parent and son, like, or like athletes, okay, cool. Why is it considered a bad thing? For me, it's an obvious thing. Like, I'm good at my job, for example, and I am raising a son or a daughter. I don't know other things. I don't know, for example, chemistry, or I don't know biology that good. I know the basics, but I don't really explore how plants grow in Middle East. But there are some things that I'm good at that I know I can teach my children, and it's going to be valuable, because then they could use this skill in their life to succeed. Why would I do this? A lot of the times nepo babies get criticized, but I just think that I do get actually where it comes from, because a lot of the times it isn't just like following in the steps, not teaching your kid what you're good at. A lot of the times it's just well, I don't know what to do, so I'll just go ask the parent, and the parent only knows one thing, so he just sends you to do that one thing. But remember, even in the past, when there were families of those who, I don't know, built the artillery for the army, or, for example, generations of restaurant owners, or generations of, I don't know, specific like specific professions had their generations, you know. There could be a family bakery, family shop, family farm, family business. Because why? Because you know how it works. You tell your kid how it works. Now the kid knows how it works. Simple.
babies in Hollywood and in business. The people online would snarl and comment, eat the rich, I hate them, all of that stuff. Not to mention, people on the left have even called for the eradication of inherited wealth. I went down a rabbit hole on this Reddit post titled Generational Wealth Straight Up Shouldn't Exist. It was like 6 paragraphs long. Obviously, it got heated. The comments were insane. It was like the most socialist stuff I've ever seen. And then I read an article from last year titled Abolish Inherited Wealth. Allowing wealth to accumulate from one generation to another is a recipe for unacceptable inequalities. We should abolish inherited wealth. And the argument
I know there is a quote that says it's not your fault where you're born, but it is your fault how you grew. It is your fault what you evolved into, and it is your fault what you're going to grow your child into. Obviously, it creates disadvantages, but whoever believes in human equality doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. We're different people. You can't compare an American who was born in America with a person who was born in Senegal. Like, I have nothing against Senegal, but everything, you simply get the advantage because you were born in a specific place. And you get like all of the stuff, and the other person has to like go through pain and suffering and a lot of different things just to at least come close to where you were at your birth. Obviously, it's unfair, but it's about what you do and how you do it that can result in the fact that the next generation is gonna come and build a better future. Your next generation, your children, your legacy. Why? Why are people so aggressive? So aggressive towards someone's achievements all the time? Like, I do understand where it comes from, but I just don't get it. Why would you waste your time on that?
argument that he presents in this article is that wealthy people should not leave their money to their children, but instead leave their money to nonprofits and charities, organizations that are going to do good for the public so that the next generation as a whole can have a better future, not just for their kids. Which obviously, this is good and nice in theory. But when most of the money donated to these big nonprofits goes to extremely high executive salaries, I'm sorry if I'm not too optimistic about how well that'll work out. So maybe this
The problem isn't even this. The problem is narcissism. At the end of the day, we all want the best for ourselves in the first case. The only reason you're saying this is because you want a better future for yourself in particular. Now, obviously, you can say that, okay, no, it's actually for the society. I really do care about this. Of course, you care about this. But if you have, let's not even go too radical, a threat to your future, there's still a limit that you're going to go where you suffer for society and not yourself. There's another point to this. A lot of the times your values can be the same as society's, right? Your interests. But don't claim that you're thinking about like you're thinking first of all about yourself. It's just that it really works well with others. And that is the problem that I'm not sure that you can really kill out. I mean, if you could kill that out, love would never exist. Hate would never exist. And a lot of different emotions that, for example, a robot cannot feel yet. That's why it's a robot. That's why it's a program.
celebrities are leaning into that. They don't want to enable their kids to become Nepo babies. They don't want to further inequality by leaving inheritance to their children. But the funny part is, by cutting them off and not leaving them an inheritance, they are inherently taking the pull yourself up by the bootstraps, go make your own money approach, which is capitalist.
That sounds like an efficient
Yeah.
use of the free market.
That is capitalist in nature. Like, that is the thing that you apparently hate, that you rag on 24/7. So again, it is very ironic. They literally
Super weird, because I thought that would be the reason why would they want to cut them off, so that they don't get too spoiled and they go and actually make their own money. But it turns out no, it's just that it's unfair to someone else. That's why I'm not going to make it unfair to someone else. That's the dumbest reason I've heard. And I'm trying to be rational, but like it even sounds unrational. How can I be rational on irrational things?
Literally cannot win no matter what they do. But I don't think they really care about any of this hypocrisy. Obviously not, because we see it every day and that's not changing anytime soon. But I think they just enjoy
They have
saying
their
these things
money.
on podcasts so they can get a bunch of progressive brownie points. They can get all the applause from their communities and the nonprofits. They feel good about themselves. It is all about
And they can get more money because attention is money. It's all about the money every single time.
the status. Now, do I think that wealthy people should just leave their children millions upon millions and completely stunt them so that they never
I
have
think it's their choice. If my body equals my choice, then my money equals my choice. Why does someone get to decide what someone has to do with their money? It's their money for a reason.
to find a passion or learn to work or have any kind of challenge in their life? Obviously not. You do need to balance. You need to learn the value of hard work. That is something that everyone, no matter how wealthy you are, should learn. But like that commenter said a few minutes ago, there is a way to teach your kids how to row their own boat and work hard without giving all of your money to UNICEF and leaving them high and dry. You can give them money when they are ready to start a business, when they've given you a business proposal, when they have hit a specific age or a career milestone, or when they've gotten married and they're ready to have kids. Like, you can set up a real estate trust. There's so many options that are not just giving all of your hard-earned money to UNICEF as a status symbol. I mean, on a smaller scale, parents pay for their kids to be able to go to college or help them buy homes and start businesses. Like, that is normal. That is a good thing that we should be doing. Families should be supporting and helping each other. I mean, you are helping launch your kids' futures in a very financially unstable world. That is the greatest thing that you could do as a parent. Somebody on that same Reddit post said, "Isn't it part and parcel of good parenthood to give your children the best chance of success?" Yes. That is literally your job. That is why parenting is the most selfless thing that you can do. Obviously, not every family is able to do this. Not every child receives this. We all have different circumstances. But your goal as a parent should not be to work hard and make a bunch of money and then leave your children out of it for the sake of left-wing virtue signaling. That is ridiculous.
At the end of the day, moral of the story, moral of the video, moral of the reaction. Balance always wins. The most balanced people are going to succeed no matter what sphere it is. So, make sure that you use the privileges correctly. And that's all for today, guys. This was a lovely stream. We had a lovely hour watching Brad Cooper videos, commenting on them, reacting to them. Some of you on YouTube may have had less time with us. Well, then you have to check the previous reactions if you haven't yet. And also check some other reactions if you're interested in them. In any case, like the video if you enjoyed it. Where's the like button? Nice. Also, you can dislike the video. That is an option. That is always an option because I do get it. I make mistakes as well. But I want to know what mistakes I make. So please, please comment them in the comment section so that I can fix them and that we can enjoy my content together. That we can have a great future for this channel together. Because if it wasn't for you, there would be no reason for me to do this channel. So thank you guys again for this lovely stream. I hope to see you in my other reactions, and I hope that you will enjoy them even more. Let's go get better results.